Welcome to my podcast. Today I'm going to talk about another important case, and it's basically a global issue that we face, whether we are like a medical professional or in the cosmetic arena. So basically, after you introduce yourself and double check the patient name and date of birth, you will ask the patient, how can I help you? So the patient might be both gender, could be female or could be a male. Any age presumably can happen. And the patient is not happy about anything in their body or in their face. And they just wanted to explore how this can be fixed or how this can be mitigated, and you'll just take the case accordingly from the patient words and what they are after exactly. So the patient might say, for instance, I'm having asymmetry in my face, or I'm having brows, so it's not on the same level, or maybe my mouth is not the way how they like it, or their nose. They wanted to make it smaller, they wanted to make it sharper. So there's a lot of things which nowadays we are bombarded with. The media, advert, wherever you go, you just see those kind of posters with young, attractive lady or handsome young man. And they are like perfect. And so the patient will have low self-esteem and they feel not confident in themselves. They just wanted to do things to boost their basically self-confidence and increase their beauty or enhance it. So you need in that regard, not just to tell the patient, oh yeah, okay, we need to fix this and fix that and take them to the surgery and open with the scalp. I think the good doctor or the good cosmetic surgeon or the good dermatological doctor as well, because they do the non-invasive cosmetic procedures nowadays, is to nurture your patient. You need to educate them, you need to understand them, you need to speak to them in depth in order to understand their thoughts and feeling and make it like an empathetic, open communication and dialogue to understand as a holistic way for their mental health, their self-awareness, what do they know so far, be realistic, and ask them an open question. Just don't narrow them with some questions whereby yes or no. Just ask them an open question about why they want that, it's bothering them the most, what's their motivation, what's their expectation. We know that cosmetic surgery market now is increasing recent years. It's a booming industry. Wherever you go, you're just being bombarded. And it has just shown that the value reached to a staggering billion of billions just for an operation and the cost of it. And this is due to exponential growth to society who desire to enhance their aesthetic value and evolving beauty standard. So people will seek cosmetic surgical procedure to keep up with these trends and the assumption their issue and their problems will be fixed and they will be like where in the top of the world, which is not in most of the cases. And the problem, as you can see in the social media nowadays, everyone is promoting for something. They don't just explain the whole thing as in depth. They just put a photo before and after, and of course the patient will be like, oh, that's what I want. Oh, that's what I like. Oh, that's what I would love to have. I recall once, before I was assaulted, I was attending for an observation dermatology, and a patient came, and sadly the doctor was saying like this, oh, your engine is down, is not working now, we need to get them up and running. I mean, I feel that That way of expression doesn't serve its purpose, it's misleading, there's misconception. You need to explain to the patient, what do you mean by that exactly? Because patient, after all, they are, they are, they are just putting trust on you. And when you say, get your system up and running, well, you need to say how you're going to get it up and running. And obviously, he just mean by that is the immunosuppression. Well, I don't think immunosuppression will do anyone good, because it's something you're going to take it for a long term, and you're going to suppress your immunity. And when you have your suppression of your immunity, we know what's going to happen. So that's not the real thing that you need to say. You need to say the truth, because we know in medicine we have not cause any harm to the patient. We have to say the truth, the complete truth, as it should be, and let the patient decide. If they wanted to go through that, then, and it's worth it, and we need always to balance and weigh risk and benefit. If the benefit outweigh the risk, well, in that condition, yeah, we could go for it, and if it's life-threatening. But if it's not life-threatening, why would I put myself or put anyone and jeopardize their immunity? So basically, as I say, you need to explain to the patient in transparent dialogue, because many patients harbor unrealistic expectation on something it will offer, and grant them the perfect beauty and the perfect body with perfect symmetry, zero risk, painless recovery, which is not, of course, the case in many, many cases. I mean, God, as He created us in a perfect way, in a perfect proportion and everything. Even if something went wrong and you went to surgery or whatever, you want to get that perfect thing as it used before. Now, after being assaulted by this criminal e-bike rider, and he just ran away, may God send him what he deserved, he and that woman. My finger is not like before, and my hand, it's not like before. I'm having pain, I'm having clicks, and it's not in its proportion or its symmetry. And whenever I go to the physio, they say, oh, just move this, move that, and they think it's just as simple as that. They don't understand. So it's basically the tendon distorted, it's not as its geometry as before, and that's why I'm having this pain and the old sensation. And for my nose, even the surgery that I had to correct the septal fracture that he caused me, it's not like before. I'm having alternate blockage. My inferior turbinate, it's still alternating. And no one explained any of that. I just made my own search and read about it. And now the scar as well, it's really painful, and just God help me. And other problems, hopefully by time they will improve. So always we need to explain and listen to the patient and tell them about the risk, because there is nothing without risk. I mean, going to an operation, a major one, you always need to tell them about the risk of the general anesthesia and the risk of the operation itself. So you can't just say to the patient, oh, I will give you the perfect body, I will give you the perfect face, I will give you whatever. No, it's not like that. And I see a lot of women, I just see them in the street sometimes. They had this facial left, and their face literally looks like, it's like alien. It's not like a natural one. And if you engage in a dialogue, she will tell you, oh, I didn't do anything, it's just my face. Oh, that's a lie. Because look at your hand, look at your neck, look at your eyes. You can't fix your eyes when they get sinking down below or deeply. So all of that, just, you need to explain to the patient and thoroughly. And if the patient is happy with that result and they are quite interested in that, then it's fine. There's another patient that I observe in the social media for the last 5 years. Obviously, he changed. He was a male, and now he started to be a woman. And he did a lot of operation, basically. It says that he inherited some cash or billion or whatever from one of his relatives. And he went just through a lot of operation, a lot of operation. Well, presumably, if he's happy with himself and he thinks that that's what it is, then that's fine because he sees that this is beauty. However, as myself personally and other people, when they see that, it's gross. It's too much. So he started with breaking his ribs because he wanted to have a waist. And then he started to take hormones to change his body from a feminine to from a masculine to a feminine. And then he did boobs implantation, Botox implantation, and he had his face as well infused with a lot of fillers, basically, the cheek, the lips, chin, and he had, of course, Botox. And the last thing he had, of course, I think implanted hair, very long hair until his buttock. And not only that, he went for laser hair removal to feel masculine, to feel feminine, sorry, and smooth skin. And the last thing he wanted to do, basically, to change the tone of his voice from a male to a female, so he went to the Far East to have that done. However, when he talks, he still have the same voice. Nothing has been changed, and the face is really, I don't know how to say. It's not normal anyway. And his legs, I mean, it's not like a woman at all. I mean, God created a woman and a man in a different ways. And I mean, years back when we studied medicine and forensic, we know that bones of a woman is completely different from the bones of a man. So aesthetically, if you try to do something externally, you can't do it internally and biologically. So it's innate. However, that's what he'd have done so far, and I'm observing him. I'm seeing him for the last 5 years. Just I wanted to see how this case will progress across the years and what might happen, because I'm just interested to see, and I think it's a long case study that I'm observing. So back to the mental health issue and the cosmetic. So, as I say, the way how they promote it makes patient want to do it, and without in-depth thinking or analysis. And this will cause a lot of misconception, leading later on to major dissatisfaction and, of course, psychological issue underpinning those kind of operation. So it's important always to safeguard your patient well-being, not only in terms of the physical suitability, but also you need to evaluate psychological readiness of the patient, because some, they might be impacted psychologically a lot, and that might cause a lot of mental health problems. So it's important and wiseful to identify red flags and those kind of patients, like for instance, if they have body dysmorphic disorder, and I wrote about body dysmorphic disorder before, and analysis if they have extreme anxiety, what might be the cause, what triggered them, and if they have any history of depression as well, if they have any issue of unresolved trauma, any major change in their life, if they have a history of multiple previous operation before, which could tell that the patient is not satisfied yet and all the time wants different operation, like the case study I just mentioned. All the time he's having operation different places. Some he had done it in London, some they had done it in Turkey, and some he had done it in South America, and some he had done in Indonesia, I think, in the Far East. So that's so far what I have seen. I mean, apart from that, maybe there is something that I miss that I haven't seen because I'm not regularly checking him, but whenever he pops in my social media, I just see how far he went with his changes. And once he had like an interview, so he was proud with what he have done so far and achieved, and he say always I like to go for extreme and I won't stop. So, well, the sky is the limit. I don't know what extreme more that he won't, because he's extreme currently, so this might cause issue later on in the future. However, just let's watch the space. So my point, what I wanted to add, that always the patient should be well informed about their decision and in their best interest. If the patient, for instance, is arguing, the patient is hesitant, the patient is not convinced, you can give them some time to think and rethink, and then they can come back, or if they are adamant and that's what they want, then in that condition, the cosmetic surgeon will make them sign a consent that he has been informed about blah, 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 I mean the side effect or the expectation or whatever, in order, of course, to protect himself and in order for the patient to know that this is what he wants and this is what had been achieved and this is what had happened. So that's basically about mental health and cosmetic surgery. It's a trend nowadays, and everywhere you just see bombarding about those kind of operation, and that's why the patient they will be like feeling insecure, low self-esteem. They just wanted to have that operation to get the fix. And the issue with those marketing, they always play with the right words, which can play in the patient head and brain and mental. And once you read these fancy words and attractive words, you just, you will go for it. Not me, but others, they will go for it. Like the other day, I read a label says, you make it and we fix it. So those kind of words, they're really tricky, but, people sometimes like to go for that thing and try it. I hope by that I covered the main aspect of what I wanted to say about this station, which is basically the mental health around cosmetic operation. And of course, while you take in the history, when you ask the patient expectation, bothering them, what's the reasoning, don't forget about past medical history and many medication, allergy, family history, lifestyle, if they are smoker, if they are drinker, all of that you need to bring it to their attention, because smoking with operation and surgery, of course, is gonna make or delay the healing process and might cause other issue as well. And I see you in another podcast. Thank you.